Well, welcome back. It's been a while. I um, I think the last time I made any type of a video was last summer, and I apologize for that. To make it put it mildly, the life got crazy. Not so much home life, but for both Valerie and I, the uh, between her work at Amazon and my work, working on the work I do, which was lasers. The second half of the year, especially the last quarter of the year, was the only word was insane. Um, it just totally consumed my time. Fortunately, things have loosened up a bit. Valerie and I are looking at many different um, options for our future as far as the business goes, as far as making the videos. We've had in-depth discussions, uh, and it's a work in progress to be sure. This is not a metaphysical corner, and I'm trying to debate what to call this, but I'll come up with something shortly. Anyway, uh, as far as what we're doing with the business and the videos, now it's gotten to the point. It's March, as right now, March 2nd, 2019, and I've got about 15 months left of work. Hopefully, we'll see if that pans out or not, but that's the plan. July 1st, 2020 is the day that I plan to hang it up. As far as work goes, the day has to come, and I'm almost there. You can't do it forever. But as far as with these videos, these additional videos above and beyond the metaphysical corner, but actually even there will be some correlation with the metaphysical corner, because the um, there always is a direct connection. Now, what does it say? Full screen. There we go. That's better. Um, how can I explain this? For 40 years, is that right? 40? Well, I guess it is. I have been in the medical field, and I'm proud of it. It's been uh, very rewarding. I've had the privilege of working on many types of equipment. X-rays, I was an MRI specialist for many years. I work on medical lasers now. I worked on X-ray, CT, MRI, cath labs. And that's just my medical end of it. I did other work before that, electronics, but since 1981, that's what I've been involved with, and the amount of change in this period of time is phenomenal. As far as what I've seen, the advancement of the equipment I work on, but yet, when I first got into it, I was as gung-ho for the medical field as anybody. As time has gone on, I have become more and more disillusioned with it. And that's the only way to put it. And it's from experience. And, well, I'll tell you what the story is. A couple weeks ago, I had my stomach was really bothering me. And the truth is, 25 years ago, I had a large ulcer. And I got taken care of at the time. They did tests and all that good stuff. And this was back when they found out that there was a bacteria called H. pylori, which stands for Heliobacter pylori, which tended to cause most ulcers. And it would turn out to be a duodenal ulcer, which is different than a peptic ulcer. Well, it started to bug me again. And so I went to see my regular doctor over at Henry Ford Hospital. And this woman, she's, the most test-happy doctor I've ever seen. She's always after you get these tests, which I'm not saying tests are uh, unnecessary, but she just does them to do them. And she's part. I came to the conclusion she is part of the problem of what they call allotropic medicine. Now let me define that in case you don't know. Allotropic medicine is everything outside of what you would call alternative medicine or alternative healing. It's the you know the standard doctor, surgeon, and they are they're the ones that just use well, we'll get into that in a minute. The pharmacy, everything can be cured or is uh, with pharmacies, drugs, like which I have become totally against. Um, what they call big pharma. I am. It's one of those things where I can say that you know, not every drug is bad. And I'm talking pharmacy drugs. Like you get prescription for. But I don't know about you. I watch those commercials on TV for a drug that comes out that's meant to uh, you know treat something. It could be high blood pressure. It could be depression. Could be whatever. And half of the commercial is listing the side effects. And I just crack up. And I think to myself, yeah, give me that drug that gives me a side effect of wanting to kill myself. I know you've seen it. And I thought, what is wrong with the FDA? Well, like they say, follow the money. I'm convinced. I'm totally convinced. There's not cancer cures, but there are natural treatments and the like for cancer, as long as it isn't too advanced, that do help. They look. Jesus Christ, it's going to be 2020 shortly. We're still using chemotherapy and radiation treatment. Come on, how freaking barbaric is that? I find that amazing. Why does it even still exist? Why? Money. Pure money. I'm convinced there's cures out there for cancer that people don't know about that have been squashed because there's so much money in the treatment of these diseases that they just are not going to let them out because that would dry up the need for chemotherapy and the like, which they make a lot of money on. But side effects. Okay. You look at the side effects of these drugs, and it depends upon the drug you're taking, what you're taking, and what it's for. The fact is, the most drugs are actually, pharmaceutical drugs are actually very effective for what they're designed to do. As far if it's a brain chemistry thing or it's blood pressure, whatever, they do work. But here, I can tell you from my knowledge of human physiology that they'll target what that's all cells of the body are different as far as there's thousands of different kinds of cells, and most drugs work. They do work in different ways, obviously, but they will actually, on the target cells, they will do their intended thing. But they also do it to every other cell in the body, which doesn't need it. If they could make and then in this regard, that's very primitive. That's why chemotherapy works. It does. And it also half destroys, I should say half, but it destroys many other cells in your, that's why I call it barbaric. If they can make if you have bladder cancer, they can make a chemotherapy drug which just affects the cells of the bladder, which are different from other cells, Now we're talking, but they don't, or the technology isn't there. So if you look at it from that perspective, okay, let's look at penicillin. Yeah, probably one of the greatest drugs of all time, and has saved thousands, if not millions, of lives over the last almost 80 years, and and it's but it because people and the people are just as guilty, because back when oh God, my oldest son, when in the early 1980s, when he was a baby and up to about 3-4 years old, he had constant ear infections, and we kept taking him. They kept giving him amoxicillin, and it basically got to the point where he was taking it all the time, which was really stupid. He had those ear implants, but he was on amoxicillin so much his body finally revolted, and he got a condition known as purpura, which is a bleeding under the skin. It looks like bruising, but it's not. It's different. But that was his body saying, enough. Because in addition, even for a woman, that when you take penicillin or any antibiotic, the way antibiotics work, for those of you who don't know, most of them work by destroying or interfering with the bacteria's reproduction, and especially the cell wall making. Believe me, this gets incredibly complex. I know quite a bit about it, and I'm not going to bore you with details, but the making of the cell wall is complex beyond belief. But what these, like penicillin does, or in many antibiotics, they interfere with the bacteria's cell wall so that it literally dies. Well, here we go again. If the penicillin only worked on bacteria that is bad for you, it would be great. But it interferes with all bacteria in your body. And you have billions and billions and billions and trillions of bacteria in your body, which you need, particularly in your gut and your colon. You couldn't live without them. They actually produce vitamins and the like, whether you know that or not. We're going to get into this later. This is where I want to take this. We're going to discover a whole bunch of that kind of stuff. But that's why some women, when they take antibiotics, end up getting a yeast infection. The vagina ends up is a bacteria haven, but they're supposed to be there. And you kill those off, especially the good ones, and you end up with a yeast infection. And then you've got problems. So, it's there's no drug that doesn't have any side effects. There's even aspirin. And did you know that aspirin, which has been in use for well over 100 years, existed before the FDA, and the FDA, in my opinion, is, I want to call it an enemy, but it almost is. They don't like to approve drugs unless they know how they work. For a long time after the FDA was established, they allowed aspirin to be used, but they really didn't know how it works. Well, now we know. They finally figured out aspirin is involved. We have these things in your body called prostaglandins, and what those are, it's basically one of the things that enables you to feel pain. It's a chemical, and when you need to feel, or you should feel pain, these prostaglandins get produced. Now, there's other purposes of them too, but that's one of their main ones. Well, aspirin inhibits the production of prostaglandins, and therefore, your pain goes away, or it's reduced, or the fever is reduced, or whatever. But they have side effects too. Look at, they tell you that if for children, for Reye's syndrome, don't take aspirin, can cause Reye's syndrome. So, I really believe, I'm not making any claims, but yet there is, from the readings I have done, and the reading I have done, and like the alternative medicine, alternative healing, the herbs, essential oils uh, that exist really do help. And even though the scientific evidence is limited as far as saying so, much of it is because, and and the medical field isn't interested in hearing this. They don't want to hear that because if you can make yourself at least better by using natural and substances, well, you're taking away their business. Okay. So in the future episodes of this, we are going to start going through alternative medical and treatments. Like I said, I'm not claiming anything, but if, for example, one of the things, the huge things we're going to be talking about was this stuff is antioxidants. I have become huge on it. Many of us have heard the term. What exactly is that? What exactly is antioxidants? Well, okay, I'll explain that real brief right now. Antioxidants the oxidants are produced under normal operation in every cell of your body. Happens all the time. Oxidation is the using of oxygen. Well, every cell burns oxygen to live. But what happens is you end up with these incredibly reactive chemicals as a natural result of the cell burning oxygen. And what it is they're missing an electron. And they absolutely want that electron, and they'll take it from whatever is nearby. That has, of course, which is, there's it's got tons of electrons to choose from different chemicals around it. But if it's an important enzyme that takes it from, or God forbid, DNA, if grabs it from a DNA, well, you just changed the DNA. And then when that cell replicates, when that cell reproduces itself, you take, I know it sounds silly, one electron, does it make a difference? You bet it does. Because you take away one electron, you just changed the DNA of that cell. So this is what antioxidants do. They are literally what's the word I'm looking for? They offer themselves. They're suicide in that they are willing to give, they easily give up electrons. To that, you have the burning of the, in the cell of the oxygen, which creates these electron-hungry compounds, and antioxidants give it to them. And when this highly reactive chemicals get that extra electron, they're satisfied. They're happy. And the antioxidants, even though they lose an electron to the highly reactive, they don't become highly reactive themselves. That's their nature. So if you don't have enough antioxidants in you, the results can be devastating. And it's not like it's going to happen just, in one day. This is this very definitely is a cumulative effect over years. Without a doubt, antioxidants do play an incredible role, extremely important role in aging, and why some people age extremely well and others seem to age well before their time. My aunt was one. That woman, oh my God, I think she was 58, 59 when she died. I'm telling you, she was like an 80-year-old woman. She died, but she was alcoholic, smoked, I think 5 packs of cigarettes a day. And I'm like, which destroys antioxidants. If you smoke, I do, you must increase your intake of antioxidants. And it can play, like I said, very much a premature role in aging, even to your skin wrinkles, the whole shot. We're going to get into all of this. So this is just a brief introductory of where these, I don't know what to call it. We'll call it alternative medicine, alternative. No, I want to call it alternative technology. Alternative. I don't like the word alternative healing. Alternative therapy. How about that? Alternative therapy. I kind of like that. With the understanding, I'm not saying, if someone has cancer, if they take everything that I would recommend, or they, that they're going to suddenly become cancer free. But there's no, when we start discussing the different herbs, the different chemicals that antioxidants and their sisters are, they will not harm you. They're natural. You aren't going to be any worse for them. Will they help you? Will they cure you? Maybe, maybe not. Or will they prevent? The trick is, with a lot of this stuff is, especially with diseases, is that they are preventable. And by having a, intake with a high amount of antioxidants and nutrients and minerals, it's very possible to, have, have good health and to avoid having, we're all going to die, but the idea is to postpone it as long as we can. I'm there. I'm 65. I'm very interested in this. I'd like to be around another 20 years. My dad will be 88 this year. Well, see, that's a good thing for me. Actually, he's in pretty good health. So that, at least genetically, that bodes well for me. We'll have to wait and see but my mom died at 55. And she died of lung cancer, but she was a very heavy smoker. And, I know she had no input. This was a long time ago. She died too. So anyway, that I'm going to end this for now. We will probably be doing 1 or 2 shows a week. It's good to be back. Once again, I apologize. Life just got crazy. And hopefully it'll be a little better. Our business, we're going to scale it back this year as far as the shows and a like that we're doing. We're going to concentrate, but hopefully, if my plan works, by July of 2020, when I quote unquote retire, at least from where I'm working currently, I can really delve into the business, and basically make it my full-time job, because I'm not one to sit around and sit in a rocking chair doing crocheting and that type of thing. No, not me. So anyway, that's it for now. We will talk to you soon. Don't forget to like us on Facebook, and we'll see you again very shortly.